Hi friends, let's welcome to Wisdom class. Before we introduce my topic, let me share some views to you. Are you ready? Let's go to our class. Yeah friends, to survive in this competitive world, we must need one thing. Today, I am here to make you to learn that one thing. Are you ready? Let's go to our class. Yes, friends, we live in a world that built by thoughts. Every achievement, every idea, every creation has needed some thoughts. Thoughts can inspire you. Thoughts can change you. Any career you want to have, any dream you want to become true, anything you want to do, all you need is your thoughts. But how? How we will express our thoughts? Through one tool, we can express our thoughts. But what is the tool? I hope you feel excited to see the tool. Let's watch the slide. Yes, that is language. With language, we can express our thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas. Language separates us from the non-living species. Does the non-living species can talk to you? Does the non-living species can understand you? No, that's the only great privilege that we have as a living species. I hope you got my point. Friends, you may get doubt. Let me demonstrate your doubt with my slide. Let's look at the slide. Why learn language? Why we need to learn language? Let's see the slide to answer this question. Let's look at the slide. Language is the key for communication. Knowledge of language is the doorway to wisdom. Learning language is not only learning new meanings, it's also learning new ways to think creatively. This is the answer why to learn a language. Friends, before going to introduce my topic, let me share my experiences with you. Are you ready? Let's go to it. Friends, when I studied my intermediate, I took my second language as Sanskrit. When I started learning Sanskrit language, my teacher instructed me, first learn grammar, then go for knowledge of language. If you can't learn grammar, you can't get knowledge in language. But when I listened to her, I felt astonished. And why should I learn all of this? I came here to learn Sanskrit language, but not Sanskrit grammar. Then, what answer I gave her? Madam, no man can run parallel to the mark of language, that is struggle with grammar. Yes friends, if you study the grammar before going to study the language, definitely it will shackles your thoughts. It shackles your creative ideas. So, we have to learn language first, but not grammar. Yes, today I feel very fortunate to be here with you and to introduce my topic. Let's go to know my topic. Let's look at the slide. Learn language without grammar. How can we learn language without grammar? You may get this doubt. How I learned Sanskrit language without grammar? Friends, this is our topic. Let's look at the objectives. Yes, the objectives are how one can learn language by observing nature, and we are going to achieve these three objects in our class. And how learn language by practice, how learn language by LSW skills. These are our objects. Let's go to achieve these objects. Are you ready? Yes. Friends, you may confused by reading grammar and everything. And your parents or your teachers may insist you first study grammar, then go to language. If you study grammar, what will happen? What will happen to our study of? Let's watch the slide. Learn language with grammar. If you study the language with grammar, definitely our situation will be like this slide. Because grammar provides no number of exceptions with no reasons behind it. If you study the grammar, definitely you will fail. Because grammar makes us to think a certain boundary. Certainly, it's not the art of reading. Then, how can you learn the language? How can you build up your knowledge and language? Friends, you may get doubt. Let me show you a doubt with my slide. Let's look at the slide. Is grammar important in learning language? Is grammar important? No, I do not know. Because grammar is an endless quest for the perfection of knowledge and language. Now friends, How do you learn the first word in your language? Through grammar? No. Then how can you learn the first word in your language? By observing others and by imitating others. That's what we can learn our language without grammar. Let's see, how can a child learn language without grammar? Let's look at the slide. How can a child learn language? How? Children normally learn language by listening to their cordial speech and by imitating others. You know friends, usually children always ask themselves what others say and they follow their words. And usually they always perceive their meanings to the words. They created their own sentences so that they start to speak in that language. That's what they can learn the language without grammar. You may get doubt how a small child can learn language, how a small child can perceive new meanings to the words. Let's look at the slide, how it will be. Babies' brains are able to process the words and meanings regardless whether the language is conveyed through speaking or heart singing. Yes friends, according to the research which is done by Kevin Baker, you know what he said? He said that babies' brains works more efficient than adults. Yes friends, babies always watch the things carefully and thoroughly. That's what their brains always works more efficient than adults. And you know friends, if you have a child with you, if you leave him in some Spain, what will happen? If you call him after some years, he won't respond you in your Telugu language. He always responds you in Spanish language. You know how? Because from his childhood, he always exposes himself to observe the language, what others says. And he always to speak in new sentences, and he always likes himself to speak the Spanish language. Even though his mother tongue is Telugu, but he can't speak Telugu language because he makes himself to observe what others says. That's what he can learn Spanish language. But how an Indian original guy can speak Spanish language? What makes him to speak Spanish language? Let's watch the slide. You know friends, before going to that, let me introduce you something. You know, do you ever think that babies' brains can learn language when they're present in the mother's womb? Actually, we won't think like that, but they can. How? Let's look at the slide. Scientists in Washington, Stockholm and Helsinki discovered that fetus is actually ensuring of language when they are present in the mother's womb. How surprising it is. How children can learn language when they are present in the mother's womb. Here they are not exposing to the real world. How they can learn language? How it's possible? Yes, it's possible. After scientists did this research, they discovered that children remembered and recognized the words that they were present in the mother's womb. Yes, let's go to our Puranas. According to the epic, the Mahabharata, Abhimanyu learned how to enter Padmavyuha when he was in mother's womb. Yes friends, this is the best example that we come across in many stories. This is how can child learn language when they are present in the mother's womb, and how they learn the language by observing others and by imitating others. This is how we learn language when we are in childhood days. Just now I told you some examples related to one Telugu guy who speaks Spanish well fluently with his dad. Let's watch the slide how he can speak that Spanish language. Let's look at the slide. Yes, learning processes. L for listening, S for speaking, R for reading, and W for writing. Yes friends, the guy who spent their lives some years in Spain, definitely he can speak fluently in Spanish language because from his childhood he exposed himself to listen that language first. Then he started to create new sentences in that language so that he can speak in that language. When he go to school, he can read and write those languages. That's what he can speak fluently in that language. Are you got my point? Then how can we acquire these LSRW skills in order to get knowledge on our language? How it's possible to us? Let's watch the slide. Natural process of learning. LSAW is the correct order of teaching skills. You know friends, why LSAW is called as natural process of learning? Because nobody is forcing you to learn this. Listening, speaking, reading and writing. That's what these are called as natural process of learning. And the master of any language depends mainly on LSAW skills. If you want to master your language, definitely you need to expose yourself to listen that language first. Then you have to speak in that language. Or you got my point? Then when you go to schools, definitely you can read and write those languages. Or you got my point? Yes. As the four skills interrelated, active skills always depends on passive skills. As well, four skills are interrelated, it's okay. But what are active skills and what are passive skills? Actually, how active skills depend on passive skill? How is it possible? Let me give a brief account on what are active skills and what are passive skills. Let's observe the slide. Among the four skills, speaking and writing are called as active and productive skills. And whereas in case of listening and reading are called as passive and receptive skills. Friends, you may doubt how speaking or writing are only called as active skills. Why can't listening and reading? Because we expose ourselves to speaking and writing. We express our ideas, feelings, emotions in speaking and writing only. That's what they are called as active and productive skills. And here, listening and reading skills are also called as passive and receptive skills. Because somebody is speaking, you are listening. Somebody is saying, you are listening. And somebody is writing, you are reading. That's what they are called as listening and that's what they are called as passive and receptive skills. Or you got my point? Yes. This is the way how active skills depends on passive skills. You know friends, these LSAW skills makes us to be perfect in our language with 100%. How it will be true? Let's look at the slide. Statistical data on learning LSAW skills. If you acquire these LSAW skills, definitely you will get 100% perfection in your language, whatever may be the language. If you learn anything by listening, definitely you will get 45% of knowledge. And in the same way, if you learn anything by speaking, definitely you will begin 30% of knowledge on language. Yes. In addition to, if you want to learn anything by reading, definitely you will be benefited to 16% of knowledge of your language. And the same way, if you want to write anything, if you want to learn anything by writing, definitely you can gain 9% of knowledge on your language. This is the way how we can get 100% perfection in our language. Yes friends, now this LSAW skills makes us to be perfect in our language. Yes. Now friends, in our country we have 1652 languages. I hope you know this. And only 22 languages are approved by the central government of India. Now, we have many languages that doesn't have any grammar, but still people are speaking those languages. How they can understand each other without grammar? How they can communicate with each other without having any rules? You may get this doubt. Let's watch this. Yes, friends, this is the way how they can communicate with each other. And you know, from all these four skills, do you ever find any grammatical skill? No. Then, how do we learn language without grammar? Is grammar important to us? No. Then, here, from all the skills, we don't need grammar. So, grammar serves zero in the natural process of learning. How it's? Let's watch this slide. Grammar, the most abstract, fatiguing and most unintellectual book that is imagined and at the same time most useless in the beginning of study of language. Yes friends, if you study the grammar, definitely it will make you to be exhausted with his rules. And it is the most unintellectual book. You know, who wrote this grammar book? The great scholars of language. You know how they wrote this grammar book? By observing the native speakers of language. So here, the whole credit goes to the native speakers of the language, but not scholars, because they are collecting rules from the native speakers of language, isn't it or not? Friends, whatever you want to learn, Just use it in a practical purpose. Being knowledgeable in grammar serves no practical purpose. Then how it will be used to you? You know, friends, if you know the grammar from beginning to end of the sentence, then it serves no practical purpose. Is it called the natural process of learning? Is it called the certain knowledge of language? No. Then, you know, friends, I came here to differentiate to know the difference between learning language and learning grammar. Let's watch the slide. By language we can comprehend grammar, not by grammar that we comprehend language. Yes, friends, if you have a language with you, definitely you can get the knowledge on whatever. If you can explain anything else in the world, but if you have rules with you, how can you explain the meaning in the world? How can you explain the knowledge of language? Certainly you can't. Friends, let's observe this slide, this picture. Here we have whatever we learn, whatever we listen, definitely our mind will take it as input, and here our mind will comprehend it, and whatever our mind comprehend to us, definitely we acquire something, that is acquisition. And here, whatever we acquire, if you communicate with others, definitely you will get immense knowledge regarding the topic. So that we have this 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you follow those 4 skills, definitely you become the proficiency in your language development. From all these 5, do you find any grammar? No. So here, grammar serves 0 in the natural process of learning. Friends, these languages, LSAW skills and the children languages, do you ever find any grammar? No. So here, grammar serves 0 in the natural process of learning. I already told you that we have 1652 languages, isn't it or not? Yes. From those languages, some of the languages have no grammar, but still people are using those languages to communicate with each other. You know, let's watch the slide how they can communicate with each other. Yes. Some languages have no grammar, but the core of language is to understand and respond when written. Yes, any language, the main essence of any language is to understand each other, is to respond each other. The examples of those languages, let's see here. Scheduled tribe languages like Lambada language, Gunda language and Mavadi language. Yes, these are the languages that we have in Telangana, and really this Lambada language or Gunda language serves a great purpose to our Telangana. You know, they doesn't have any grammar, but they preserves a cultural identity to the state of Telangana. How great it is. Even though they doesn't have any grammar, but they are preserving a cultural identity to the state of Telangana. No make a doubt how people can communicate with each other without having any grammar. Let's watch this video, you can able to know that. Let's see here. Yes.
काय क्लास
इंग्लिश क्लास मन इंग्लिश बातें करू उनसे नो कुछ भाषा बातें करनो को तो भी ग्रामर चाणो के रिज मैडम हनु कुछ सीखवे में
आपण नानकी व्यक्ती जर छे का ग्रामर छे जो बातें कर किसानी अभी हनु बातें कर
हनु बातें करू मन भी छपणी मनु सीखणो कोन के रिज मैडम कंपल्सरी जो सीखणो को तो मस्त तकलीफ पेरी छे तू सीखो ना
आपण भी नानकी व्यक्ती जर छे का ग्रामर छे जो काय के तो आपने को बातें करा तो भी आपने कळजारीत नी जो अभी हनु बातें कर ग्रामर करता बातें कराचा छे तो बातें करा काय छे नी अब को बातें कर सोचा के तो अब कांटी सोचा के तो आपने बातें ना सोचा नहीं जो हनु छे का वो इंग्लिश एंड ग्रामर छे जो बातें करन
हनु सोच रही जो मैं भी हनु बातें करू तो अब जो मैं भी हनु बातें करू के दी तो अब हमार घर आ जो को बुलाऊं के लिए वो मार भाषा में मसी के जे में को तो तू जवाब कर लेट्स गो होम
गुड सर.
Yes, friends, this is the way how people can communicate with each other but doesn't have any grammar. This is the way how people can respond to each other freely and confidently. And you know, these languages and LSAW skills and the children languages are considered into the group of open communicative language. But we have secret communicative language too. I hope you feel anxious to see that secret communicative language? Let's watch the slide to see that. Yes, that is military communication. It is the transmission of information secretly without using any particular grammar. Yes, friends, our brave soldiers who spend their life in the borders of country are always used to convey the message by using certain symbols and notations. They are not using any grammar, but the main essence of their communication is to understand each other, is to respond to each other. That's what this communication is called as secret communicative language. Yes, friends, if somebody will change their body motions like this, and if they get yawnings, definitely I can assume that they are getting sleep and they are getting tired. But how I can assume that? They will inform you that they are getting sleep and tired? No. Then how I can assume? By their body language. Here, what is meant by body language? Body language means the language which we express through our body is called body language. You know, our body language constitute our facial expressions, eye contact, gestures and postures. These are the main group which comes into the group of body language. You know, how we communicate with body language? One is not one language. How we communicate with body language? Let's watch the slide. Non-verbal communication. It is a communication through sending and receiving wordless clues. It includes the use of visual clues such as body language. Yes, friends, it is a good example. You know the chimpanzee of Lana? Its name is Lana. It always communicates with each other by using this non-verbal communication. Yes, friends, here in non-verbal communication, our body language plays a very important role. Yeah, friends, we have, already I told you, we have 1,652 languages in our country. But you don't know that one thing. Let's look at the slide to know that. Usually, 65% of all languages expressed in the form of non-verbal communication, and the left of the 35% of all languages expressed in the form of verbal communication. Yes, from all the 100% of languages, 65% of all the languages are expressed in the form of non-verbal communication. So, we have to work hard to build effective body language in order to get this non-verbal communication. Yes, friends, this is the way how people can communicate with each other with using body language. Yes, friends, and now I'll show you something. Just concentrate on my words. Silence being broken by the stream of continuous actions. Yes, actions will break the silence. How? How it is true? Let's watch the slide. Silent films are the films with no synchronized recorded sound, primarily meant for entertainment and a message to the viewers. And here we have another one, that is, miming also involves acting out a story through body motions without the use of speech. Yes, friends, the main concept of the silent film and miming is to convey the message, is to respond instead of reaction. Because here we are not using our voice, we are using our actions. Because action speaks louder than words, isn't it or not? Yes, that's the message of this silent film. And today I am here to give a best example of this silent film. Let's watch the slide. The Kid. The Kid is an American silent film which is produced, directed and starred by Charlie Chaplin. Friends, when you remember the character of Charlie Chaplin, definitely you will get a smile on your face. How? Because in this film, he not only contributed his acting, he contributed his soul to that film. That's what still we can remember the character of Charlie Chaplin in this film. And now, here, these silent films contributed not only their actions, they contributed their soul to that films. And now, they have recently one mime show in our vibrations. The main concept is to understand the message, not words. That's what action speaks louder than words. And now, Now I'll introduce one more person who is very famous and who changed the routine process of learning into the different one. He is, let's watch the slide, Noam Chomsky. He is an American linguist, cognitive scientist and historian and social critic. Yes, he is famously regarded as father of modern language and father of linguistics. In 1960, he proposed a new revolutionary idea according to his theory, that is, what is that? That is parity of stimulus. He said that we are born with innate knowledge of grammar that serves as the basis for our language acquisition. Yes, friends, we are born with innate knowledge of grammar. Then why you are studying again and again grammar? If you study again and again grammar, definitely our situation will reinventing the thing which is already done past, which is already done few years back. Then why you are reinventing that? Of course, it's important to explore ourselves in an innovative way, but that doesn't mean that which is already created one. So here he proved his theory with one sentence of example. Let's watch the slide how it's that. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously, said by Noam Chomsky. How? If you listen this sentence, you may get doubt how colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Obviously, this sentence doesn't convey any message. Friends, we all know that every language, the main essence of every language is to understand others, is to get respond each other. But is it conveying any message? No. Then how you can say that language learning with grammar is important? How? That's what my topic is. Learn language without grammar. Now I'll introduce some more persons who is great in their writings, but they didn't use any single grammatical word in their writings, sonnets and poems. But still now their characters are very famous in this world. How? How it's possible without writing any single grammatical in their writings? How they are learning those characters which are produced by them? Let's watch the slide how it will be. William Shakespeare, a great English poet, dramatist and began writing in the late 1580s. He violated the traditional essence of writer. They are action, time and place. Friends, who found this traditional essence of writer? He is Abraham Lincoln. Whatever may be the drama, it should have some action. Whatever may be the drama, it should have some starting point and some ending point. It should be performed in a place that is theatre. And William Shakespeare didn't use any single grammatical word in his sonnets, but the great professors who completed their MA in grammar always urged themselves to read his sonnets. That's what the main power of his William Shakespeare writings. And now I introduce one more person who belongs to Andhra Pradesh, and he is very famous for his encouragement and inspiration. Let's watch the slide to know about him. Are you ready? Let's go. Yes, Srinivas Rao, a deliberate writer who didn't follow any ancient grammatical rules but always achieved to read his response. Yes, friends, he didn't use any single grammatical word in his writings, in his course. But if we read his writings, definitely we will get immense inspiration. Isn't it or not? According to his writings, he said that Chandasu Alankaralu ane Satya Parishvanganaala nenu ennado badilisanu. Yes, that's the power of Srinivas Rao, as he is called as deliberate writer. And these two writers are very famous for their writings, and they have many writers who didn't follow any grammar. And now I am here to make you to learn one more teaching technique which is very popular. Let's watch this. CLT. C for communicative, L for language and T for teaching. For every communication we need language. If you have anything, if you teach with others, definitely will get immense knowledge regarding that one. Yes, how the CLT will improve us, how the CLT will develop our language skills. How means, if you have thoughts with you, if you communicate with others, definitely we need a language, that is language. So here communication is important and language is also important. And whatever you have, if you teach with others, definitely I will get immense knowledge regarding the topic. So that this similarity makes us to be perfect in our language of knowledge. And now, the best example for this CLT is our super students. How it's possible? Because here, when we have topics in our hands, we make ourselves to communicate with others with a tool that is language. So here C and L is completed, and we came here to let you learn that concept. So this ELT, the best example for this ELT is our super students. And how we acquire this ELT in order to get perfection in our language? Let's watch the slide. The goal of any language is to communicate through learning by teaching. Yes, friends, the goal of any language is to make the people to communicate to each other so that they can learn something, and whatever they learned, if they teach, definitely they'll get immense knowledge regarding the topic. Isn't it or not? Yes. And according to CLT, language can be learned through the process of social interaction. Yes. If we interact with others, definitely will get a perfect knowledge on the topic. Here, if you observe, everybody is communicating with each other. That's what they can learn the language easily and simply. This is about the process of CLT, that is communicative language teaching. And now I'll introduce one person who didn't study anything. He's an educated fellow, but he can speak fluently one of the world's #1 language, that is one international language, that is our English, which rules our world. But he can speak fluently in that language. You may get doubt how an uneducated fellow can talk fluently in English. How it's possible? Let's look at the slide. Let's watch this video, friends. Yes, let's watch it.
Where is your phone?
No, I don't want to keep any phone.
What's your name?
My name is Rajanna.
You're from?
I came from Annanelli.
Where is Annanelli?
Annanelli near Urkere.
Oh. What's your qualification?
Nothing. I am not a qualified. I am uneducated, thoroughly
How can you
uneducated.
speak English?
It is only learned by the people.
Oh, great.
Nature is my teacher. World is university. But I have no any teacher and any university. This is my university. This is my teacher.
Yeah, thank you.
I am not follow to anybody because I have no any confidence on the modern methods.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, friends, this is the way how we can learn language without grammar. He said that world is my university, nature is my teacher. So we can learn language by observing the nature. This is one of our objective. Shall we achieve this objective or not? Yes. And now, here, if you want to learn language, you must follow 2 things. That is, let's look at the slide. Learn language by your own, without bothering by anyone. If you want to learn language, learn by your own. If you have mistakes first time, but it may not come in the next time. So, be practiced to learn your language without bothering by anyone. So, my conclusion regarding the topic is, let's watch the slide. Yes, conclusion is, learning language is the acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience or being taught. It is a way to explore ourselves in an innovative way. Yes, friends, whatever may be the language, just acquire the knowledge of the language. And it is maybe through an experience. And if you want to learn language, this is the best way to us to explore ourselves in an innovative way. And friends, no matter whatever you want to learn language, just acquire the knowledge and the language. And it is a great platform to make us to be successful in our 3rd commandment, that is, I should do what I love and be different. Learning language with grammar is already completed one, which is already routine one. If you want to learn something different, just start it. Learn language without grammar. And here, if you want to learn language without grammar, it makes you to introduce your creative ideas. This is what, and still now we come across many topics. Let's revise the topics which we discussed just now. Yes, see here. Key points: we learn language and we learn why learn language. I hope you got the answer to this question, why learn language. And now our main topic is learning language without grammar. I hope you will get some techniques to learn language without grammar. And we learned how children can learn language. How? By observing others and by imitating others. And we learned how LSRW skills makes us to be perfect in our language. And also we discussed about communication, which is very secret communication. And we learned non-verbal communication. In this, body language plays a very vital role. And we learned the concepts of silent film and mime shoes. And we get the concept of Noam Chomsky, who changed the routine process of learning into different one. And we also know about this William Shakespeare and Srirangam Srinivas Rao concepts regarding their writings. And we learned the CLT, that is communicative language teaching. Yes, from this process, we know that for every language, we have to learn something by teaching. And we learned how Godi languages, Marwari languages that doesn't have any grammar, how people can communicate to this from these languages. This is our topic, and I would like to dedicate my immense thanks to the family of Social Welfare, Telangana Social Welfare Residential Educational Institution Society. And also I would like to thank to our secretary, founder of TSWREIS, and my sincere thanks to my mentors. And just now we got some questions. Let's see what are those questions. What did the chimpanzee Lana use to communicate? Before going to answer this, let's know what is chimpanzee Lana. You know, it is born on October 7 in 1970, and it can communicate with each other with a computer program sign language. And the next question, please. According to Hockett, how can we learn language? According to the definition of Hockett, we can learn a language by listening and by speaking. This is what the answer to this question. And we have next question. Next question, please. Was Shakespeare really violated the traditional rules? Yes, he violated the traditional rules because he wanted to make his character to come alive in the real world. That's what he violated the three main traditional essence of writer. They are action, time and place. Yes. I would like to thank to all our family of social welfare, and thanks for giving me this fabulous opportunity.